Well, hello, Paradigm Shifters. It's so good to see you again. And this is August. Wow, August 2022. And Paradigm Shifters, we are a dedicated, growing global community dedicated to shift and uplift the planet. I realized just about a couple minutes ago that we have been doing this every Tuesday, every Transformation Tuesday for 2 years. And the idea started in 2020 when things had shut down. There's a lot of fear, like, oh my God, how are we going to do this thing? And I thought maybe 20, 25 people would, grow. And then we've grown and snowballed. I like snowballed into like 1,500, almost 1,500 members as of this recording. So why is that? Perhaps there's a yearning there to transform and to uplift each other and ourselves. So, with that, my name is Judy Matejczyk, Life Mastery Consultant and Kayak Coaching Adventures, and I just came up with a little logo about that. I'll tell you more about it. Kayak Coaching Adventures, you'll love this, Sue. Taking you outward places for inward adventures. Pretty good? Getting those downloads. So we're getting the month of August. Take a deep breath in here in this beautiful month. In the month of August, we are talking on the topic of ability, capability, and thrivability. So I am going to start this cool PowerPoint here. Alrighty, let's see here. Share. There you go. And there you go. And I would tell you about how this topic came about. I was talking to another coach, and she was telling me her story about her health challenges and how she was able to transform those disabilities into abilities and then build and build and build on that. So let's take a deep breath in August 2022. Here you go. So here's the quote we're going to be playing with. It's only possible to live happily ever after, moment by moment. Moments matter most. Maybe the only dream worth having is to dream that you will live while you are alive and die only when you are dead. I love that quote. I found that this morning from a friend of mine who lost his wife last year, good friend of mine. And now he's the parent of 3 young children. And I just love his commitment to live fully alive and raise those beautiful kids. Not easy, but boy, I'm getting so much from him. Good friend of mine from Colorado. So, we live moment by moment. So the first word is ability, not disability. And so much of my past has been working with different ability, kids, people, and knowing that there are different abilities. Now I'm going to take you up into the mountains in this little videos and tell you about, this is Kayak Coaching Adventure number 7 at Lake Irwin, where I was petrified. I got lost on the mountain road. I almost didn't do it. I thought to myself, I'm too old. I can't do this. I can't even breathe. And I thought to myself, well, guess what? I don't have to do it. I can just take the pictures and say I did it. Ooh, that's an old pattern coming up of mine. And I eventually asked for help and got there, and I wanted to take you there and just If I would have backed out, I would have missed this moment in time. So here you go. And yes, I was on the shore taking pictures, and that woman was maybe about 10 years older than me. So, like, okay. So, just take a deep breath into that. And that water was icy cold, my favorite kind of water melting from the snow. Yeah. Ability. We all have abilities. And then we have these things that are stopping us, limiting beliefs. So the second word we're going to play around with this month is capability. So take a deep breath in here and ask yourself, what are you capable of doing that your limiting beliefs are holding you back? Take a minute and think about that. What are you capable of doing? And then all these limiting beliefs, these paradigms, these, maybe old voices in your head that say, you're too stupid, you can't do this, whatever, that are holding you. What are you capable of doing that your beliefs are holding you back? My little story here was I always yearned to be a wildlife photographer, a National Geographic photographer. And boy, I just love going out in nature and taking pictures. Like holding my back, like I don't have the right camera. I don't have the bears will eat me up. Who do you think you are? The only place you're going to learn anything is in a classroom in school. What kind of income there? It's like there's no way you're going to fall off a cliff and your kids are going to be parentless. You name it, right? Well, once I was started to look at those limiting beliefs and kind of chuckle at them, I had this capability to this was a little bit further in the week. Once I conquered my fear of getting in that kayak on the icy water, then a couple days went by and I asked myself what if I took the momentum of that adventure and went and meditated in the high mountains and actually put on the mindset of a wildlife photographer? What if? And this is what turned out. This moment of meditation. And the third word we're going to be playing with is thrivability. thrivability. Where did that word come from? And actually, it came from, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine who's going to be our guest speaker next week, by the way, Ken. And he's thriving up in the mountains. He's just thriving and in love and the best dad. And he said, I just feel thriving. And I'm like, whoa. So the question I asked him, and he'll be coming on and speaking about, is and Sue or whoever it is, when were you thriving in the face of conditions, circumstances, or situations? Look back on your life and you were in the middle of a condition or a circumstance or a crazy situation, and you made a decision you were going to thrive in that moment and make it a moment in time where you were going to rise above, have some brave thinking, and deciding to shift your mindset and thrive. Food for thought for this month. If you can thrive in a situation that's impossible, would it be possible to thrive at any time? Question. So this next little video is, well, I'll tell you this, oh my God. Okay, we were coming back into Texas out of the high mountains of Colorado. Now, for any of you following the heat wave here, it's been 105 or 104, whatever, for about 60 days straight now. And we were heading down into it, 3 days of driving back into that. And after all these mountain highs, right, loving people, all that. And I was thinking about all the lessons learned. And we were coming down off Monarch Pass, and it's really high. We were up 11,600 feet. We were coming down off of it, and my car hit a rock. And I'm like, uh-oh. And immediately the tire light went on. And I just I panicked. I looked at my son Jody and I'm like, okay, this is like the trust in God, trust. And I thought, okay, I do not want to have a blowout on the mountainside. There's nowhere to, we made it down to the bottom, kind of the bottom, pulled in and to this hotel that was there. And I thought, I need help. Ask for help, because God always tell me to ask for help. I just don't know why. I don't want to listen. So I went over, and there's a guy coming out. And he had this big old Jeep, and I'm like, I need to go over to them. I said, hey, this and that and that and this, and he came over, crawled under. He goes, well, you got a bent rim on your tire and it's leaking. And then he went back to his big old Jeep and he was telling me his story. He had just dropped his wife off. He's going to hike up this pass, and he's going to meet her in 3 days. She's out hiking by herself. And he was meeting her, and he's saying he usually goes with her, but he didn't. And he went over and he pulled out this air pump from this Jeep, and he's telling, pumping it up and telling me, okay, well, you have enough air in it to make it to the bottom of the mountain, and there's a tire store there. And I was like, wow, God sends these angels all the time if I would only ask for help. So then we got back in the car, and I'm looking at Joe, and I'm like, we better not speed to the tire place, but I feel like it. And we're gently going down in there. And I'll tell you what, panic wanted to arrive. However, I learned up in the mountain the importance of taking deep breaths, even when you can't breathe. And I was just breathing, and when I breathe in, and I would hold it for 4 counts and breathe out, about 30 seconds were passed. And we were further down the mountains and further to that tire store. And then when the panic wanted to come up again, I would breathe again. Go figure. And we got in the tire store, only one open in this small town, right? And everything. And they were able to look at it, bounce the rim back, kind of fixed it. She said, "Oh, you should be okay now until you get back to Texas." But when you get back, and I'm like, wow, I'm so grateful. And it was like every place I said after, wow, I'm so grateful for all your knowledge. So grateful, thank you, and made it down. So lessons I'm learning on the flats tires, and then getting down into the heat. I realized that no matter where I am, one, I know that God is with me, and there's other people. So we've been back, I think yesterday, today, I can't even remember. It's kind of a fog. We are in the 105-degree heat. And I went out and I'm like, okay, how can I be grateful here? Where do I need to center and grasp what I've learned? Right here in Texas. So this is where I went out to this morning. My mission was to find thrivability in the 105 weather. So here's my last video. This is a park not far from me. If this is like the first place I ever kayaked, actually. Not far from me in Texas. There you go. So, in the month of August 2022, we'll present guest speakers and their stories of ability, capability, and thrivability to inspire you to look deeper and ask questions for your continued growth. So let's make this a thriving month of possibilities. So, Judy Matejczyk, Kayak Coaching Adventure, taking you outward places for inward adventure. And there we go. I'm going to end this PowerPoint and come back at you. So there we are. Celebrating 2 full years of Paradigm Shifters and continuing to shift and uplift the planet. So join us this month. Any comments, any folks that you would love to see, come and tell their stories. We are so blessed, and we're going like this. Let's put out some energy here. And shooting energy off this beautiful planet and all the people and souls that are here and yet to be here and who have gone before us. See you next week. There you go.